Larkin Community Hospital is committed to protect the interest and welfare of our elderly population. Our outreach program will serve as a pioneer to train, support, and address the healthcare needs of the senior population and the care settings that provide that care. Together, we will develop initiatives that will serve as a roadmap to solve those needs. In our effort to be inclusive of the ALF particular needs, Larkin Community Hospital appreciates your participation in this seminar, and we hope you take the most advantage of it. Thank you for being here. I'm going to give a brief description on how the healthcare reform is going to benefit the senior citizens. First, we are talking about lowering costs for American seniors. Why they are talking about lowering costs for American seniors? Because they are saving in different areas. One of the areas that they are saving is saving by closing the Medicare donut hole. Saving the Medicare donut hole for your residents is very important, because if your residents have prescription drug coverage and they have to pay for their medication during the period that they have, that is during the period of the donut hole, this year they will get one-time tax-free $2,050 rebate for Medicare to help the prescription drug coverage. That is very important, and you're going to see why it's that important in a little while. So in 2011, if they have high prescription drug costs, and that put them in the donut hole, they will get a 50% discount that will cover on non-covered or non-medication that is not in the list brand medication, and they are going to have 50% discount on those medications during the period of time that they are going to be in the donut hole. This donut hole is going to be trying to be closed between 2010 and 2020. The donut hole, the intention is to be closed. Now, actually, there is another way that they will reduce costs for your residents. And this is a very important aspect of the reform that will benefit the ALF. Because actually, Medicare pays HMOs over $1,000 more per person, even if they are not in the HMO. And this is called the excessive payment that they are giving to the HMOs. Now, the Affordable Care Act is going to reduce that excessive payments to those private insurances in Medicare Advantage in the HMOs. So as of the reform is going to be implemented, they are going to start to decrease those excessive payments, because that they are spending that money in administrative costs rather than in health care. So now, by reducing these costs, they are going to be even with the Medicare original plan. That is why Medicare is planning to save $150 billion over the next 10 years for this specific aspect of the reform. Medicare beneficiaries will have the opportunity now, those who didn't have it before, to stay in original Medicare. Because of the prescription drug cover, now they are going to be able to stay in Medicare original plan. Because Medicare is going to help them to pay for the excessive costs they have in the medication prescription. So now they are not going to be having that hassle, and they are going to prefer to stay in Medicare original, which serves them more as they are elderly. The other aspect that the reform, the Affordable Care Act, talks about is that it extends the life of the financial health of the people who are financial health of Medicare. What that means? It means that they are having special attention in investing a significant amount of money in preventing and fighting waste, fraud, and abuse. The reform payments are going to be reduced in harm and unnecessary hospital readmissions or hospital admissions. They are focusing a lot in the hospital readmissions, and we will talk about that later during the presentation. And also, they wanna make sure that they are not getting more infections if the people get back to the hospital why they don't need it, okay? This alone is going to extend the Medicare financial situation at least in 9 years. The other focus of the reform is in the preventive care for the senior citizens. Eliminate deductibles, no co-payments, and other cost sharing for preventive medicine. This is going to be for all the patients in Medicare and in order to the whole reform, the Affordable Care Act. So there's not going to be any payments for annual check-ups in wellness, and this is going to start 2011. I don't know if you have the opportunity to share specifically the PowerPoint that we were doing before the presentation. It was telling you specifically at what point and time the implementation is going to be done. But you can go to www.medicare.gov, or you can go to the White House and you can click in health care, and it's going to take you to this webpage. Now, it covers costs for American seniors because in the long-term care. Why? When we talk about long-term care, and in the Reform Act, they specifically talk about nursing homes. But we need to make sure and understand that we are caregivers. So we have a shared responsibility even if we are not a long-term facility. Because those patients that you take care of, they will prevent them from going to nursing home if the wellness is in your care. Okay, so when we talk about long-term care, the law specifically talks about nursing homes, but we want to make you aware that the nursing home can be extended, we don't know, to institutions. Because in some areas of the reform, they talk about nursing homes specifically, in some other areas they talk about long-term care, and in other areas they talk about institutions. Okay? So it creates a voluntary long care insurance program, and this is not for nursing home. This is specifically the CLASS Act that was signed by President Obama for the people that have disability regardless their age. So it's going to provide cash benefits, and this is going to help the assisted living community because the people, when they have a disability and they don't have nobody to care for them, they're going to choose to live in an assisted living facility because it's going to be more suitable for them. And this is going to help them to remain in the community. But these patients are not eligible for Medicaid. And maybe they will not be eligible for Medicaid, even though Medicaid is not talking right now about how they're going to implement the health reform. They are working on that. But even though parallel will have the disability linked to Medicaid, these specific people, these people that is disabled that right now have a lot of problems because they don't have where to go, they don't have nobody to care for them, and the CLASS Act is going to give some cash money so they can take care of themselves in assisted living facility if they prefer, but with their own money that the government is going to give them for life. Okay? So this is another good aspect, the CLASS Act, that is called the Affordable Care Act that it's not called the Affordable Care. So you can know about this program. This is a very important program that is going to be effective in 2012, but it's a time period for the applications, and maybe you know people that have disabilities that you have them paying cash from their families, but now they can be enrolled into the CLASS program. So you need to look when are the deadlines when they come out in next year. Okay. That's the long term now. They are also talking, the second point of the reform regarding senior citizens. Remember, the Affordable Care Act is a very large reform. But we are talking about senior citizens right now. One of the things that they are doing and that they are implementing very hard is on quality and affordable health care for seniors. Why? Because they have a lot of hospital readmissions, so they are getting a lot of overutilizations from the hospital, from the doctors, from the different companies that provide care, and they are looking exactly into every single detail. So they are investing in promoting and improving and they are focusing a lot of their attention in this specific aspect. The next thing that we can talk, okay, to promote better care after a hospital discharge. We're going to have a presentation on this from the Medicare, Florida Medicare Quality Improvement Organization, and they will explain to you better this part of the reform. And the healthcare insurances will develop national priorities, and they are going to standardize the forms, and they are going to standardize the quality measurements that they are going to do, so you guys can report and the different agencies can report to them. Now, there's another thing that was signed that was amended because it already existed, but this is a new act that was signed, the Elder Justice Act, and this will provide millions of grants for advocate agencies, and one of the agencies that is going to be in charge and is going to be paying special attention to the abuse, to the elderly, to the neglect, or the abuse of some of the staff. It's going to be the Florida Ombudsman program, and we have here Mr. Keith. He's the Florida manager, district manager from the Florida Ombudsman, and we are very pleased to have you here, Keith, by the way. So he will talk to you about a little bit more about the program of the Ombudsman. But mainly, all of this, we are talking about ensuring accountability by the staff, about the way the people is approaching the senior citizen. Now, I have been reviewed. How this reform, the Patient Safety and Abuse Prevention Act, was signed specifically for nursing homes. This is specifically for nursing homes. But once again, we go back and say, we are the caregivers, we are the ones who have the first hand to be on it. From our homes, they usually go to a nursing home. We need to prevent that from happening. We need to take care as much as we can and give them the different care, even if we need to take other resources like to utilize hospice care or needs that we have to prevent from people going to a nursing home when it's not necessary. When it's necessary, of course, that we need to take it. So now I'm going to welcome Mr. Keith Gibson. It's very nice to see you.